Hey guys, looking for new games to play in May? Then you've come to the right place. Without wasting any time, we're starting the list with Doom: The Dark Ages, the highly anticipated prequel to the acclaimed Doom 2016, and Doom Eternal, which promises to immerse players in an epic and cinematic story about the origin of the Doomslayer's fury. Prepare for a dark and medieval journey where the Doomslayer confronts the forces of hell in a brutal and relentless war. The game promises a brutal and visceral combat experience, true to the tradition of the Doom franchise. Players can expect a more strategic and grounded combat system, with a focus on enhanced melee combat and a slow-motion glory kill mechanic for greater control during battles. In addition to the classic weapons of the franchise, such as the Super Shotgun, Doom: The Dark Ages introduces new brutal weapons, such as the Chainsaw Shield, which promises to cut enemies to pieces.
None of us would survive. Bishop Creed. We need him.
Launch the Slayer.
Impact confirmed. The Slayer has been activated.
Stronger than maybe even you.
Metal Eden is a first-person shooter with a science fiction theme and cyberpunk aesthetic, developed by Nightreign Games, a Polish studio known for the acclaimed Ruiner 2017, and published by Deep Silver, a division of Playin GmbH. Metal Eden is described as a sci-fi adrenaline FPS. The player takes on the role of Asuka, a hyper-advanced unit, Hyper Unit, a combat android created for reconnaissance and protection missions. Asuka is sent on a suicide mission to rescue the cores, data cores that store the human psyche, of the citizens of the orbital city Moebius, which orbited the planet Vulcan. Metal Eden combines elements of classic FPS games, such as Doom 2016 and Eternal, with parkour mechanics inspired by Ghost Runner and a sci-fi aesthetic reminiscent of Halo and Metroid. The gameplay is fast, fluid, and requires constant movement with a focus on visceral combat and strategic exploration.
We are standing on the edge looking towards the unknown. See you near the... How do you feel? Is something bothering you?
Just some noise in my core.
Deep down in the depths of Vulcan, you must retrieve the Architect's core.
They will send everything they have to stop us.
You know I would never want to see you hurt. But the path we walk demands the extreme.
I remember you.
Capcom Fighting Collection 2 is a collection of classic fighting games developed and published by Capcom, being the third entry in the Fighting Collection line and a direct sequel to the Capcom Fighting Collection released in 2022. Capcom Fighting Collection 2 offers a journey through the history of Capcom fighting games, bringing together iconic titles that have marked generations of players. The collection includes games that represent different fighting styles, from classic 2D to innovative 3D games, with memorable characters and unique gameplay mechanics. The collection includes support for online play with rollback netcode, which ensures a smoother and more responsive gaming experience, even in online matches. Players can compete in ranked or casual matches, create lobbies with friends, and even watch matches from other players.
Negotiation. I refuse to think we need saving. Something good will come from creation. And when we think that the world is too anxious, we'll adapt, evolve, survive, and save it. What keeps you up at night, yeah? Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah? Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Tactical Takedown is the first turn-based strategy game in the Ninja Turtles franchise, marking an innovative approach to the series, which has traditionally excelled in action and beat-em-up games. Developed by Strange Scaffold, an indie studio known for titles such as El Paso, Elsewhere, and I Am Your Beast, and published in collaboration with Paramount, the game will be released exclusively for PC via Steam on May 22, 2025. The narrative of Tactical Takedown presents a bold and mature approach, inspired by the comic book The Last Ronin and the narrative style of the classic Ninja Turtles cartoons. Tactical Takedown combines elements of turn-based strategy with beat-em-up mechanics, offering a unique experience for the franchise. The game is described as a blend of tactical board game with dynamic action, where players control the turtles in battles against the Foot Clan in mutable arenas. Elden Ring Nightreign is a new standalone game developed by From Software and published by Bandai Namco, set in the universe of Elden Ring, but with a distinct approach focused on cooperative multiplayer and roguelite elements. The game takes place in Limveld, an alternative and procedurally generated version of Limgrave, the first open-world area of Elden Ring. The map is dynamic, changing with each match with random elements such as swamps that can transform into lava areas. Nightreign does not continue the narrative of Elden Ring, being a parallel experience with its own mythology. Players take on the role of Nightfarers, heroes seeking redemption by facing powerful creatures in a cycle of 3 days and 3 nights, culminating in a confrontation with a Night Lord. The narrative is minimalist, focused more on gameplay than on an epic campaign. Nightreign is described as a session-based RPG, combining Souls-like, roguelite, battle royale, and hero shooter mechanics. Lost Soul Aside is an action-adventure RPG developed by Ulta Games, a Chinese studio based in Shanghai. The game, which began as a solo project by developer Yang Bing in 2016, gained prominence for its inspiration from titles such as Final Fantasy XV and Devil May Cry, combining impressive visuals, dynamic combat, and an interesting narrative. Lost Soul Aside follows the journey of Kasser, a swordsman who merges with a supernatural entity called Arena, a creature resembling a crystal dragon. The plot unfolds in a fantasy world ravaged by war, where Kaiser embarks on an epic mission to save his younger sister, Louisa, whose soul was stolen by dimensional beings known as Voidraks. In addition to rescuing his sister, Kaiser must confront this interdimensional threat to save humanity. The combat is dynamic and frenetic, allowing players to chain high-speed combos using melee attacks, special abilities, and quick weapon swaps.
Within you, a destiny waiting to be fulfilled. Let me be your vengeance. The blade in your hand. You never wanted to be a hero. But for humanity's sake, you must. Then give me...
Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition is a remaster of the classic real-time strategy game Age of Empires 2 The Age of Kings, originally released in 1999 by Ensemble Studios and published by Microsoft. The game retains the essence of the original. You build and manage an empire, gather resources, advance through ages, Dark Age, Feudal, Castle, and Imperial, train armies, and defeat enemies. It is widely considered one of the best strategy games of all time due to its depth, replayability, and active community. Along with the release for PS5, the new expansion, The Three Kingdoms, inspired by the historical Three Kingdoms era of China, will be available. The big question for an RTS on console is the gameplay. The developers have worked to adapt the controls for the DualSense, with support for vibration and adaptive triggers. Additionally, there will be support for mouse and keyboard on PS5, offering players the option of a more traditional RTS experience.
Start the game already!
The Midnight Walk is a dark fantasy adventure game that will be released on May 8, 2025. The game is developed by Moonhood and published by Fast Travel Games, the same creators of Lost in Random and Fee. The game is unique in that it is entirely made of clay, with each setting and character being sculpted by hand and then digitized in 3D. The game's animation is also done in stop motion, giving the game a unique and charming look. The player takes on the role of the Burnt One, a character who joins a lantern creature called Potboy to traverse a world full of wonders and horrors. The goal of the game is to survive and overcome the many monsters that want to devour Potboy's flame. The player must use Potboy's flame to distract the monsters while hiding and avoiding the threats of darkness. The game is described as a cozy horror game, with a tone of humor and nuance that sets it apart from other horror games.
And all alone. But I don't need to see, so just tell me where to go. Even though all my light has been fading, and I won't need to be there to face the unknown.
Onimusha 2. Samurai's Destiny Remastered is a remastered version of the classic action-adventure game originally released in 2002 for the PlayStation 2. Developed and published by Capcom, this remaster brings the title back to modern platforms with visual enhancements, gameplay adjustments, and quality-of-life features, while maintaining the essence of the original game. Onimusha 2. Samurai's Destiny takes place in feudal Japan in 1560, 10 years after the events of Onimusha. Warlords. The story follows a new protagonist, Jubei Yagyu, a young swordsman who returns to his destroyed village at the hands of the demonic forces of Nobunaga Oda, a warlord allied with demons, Genma. Driven by revenge, Jubei embarks on an epic journey to defeat Nobunaga and discovers his supernatural legacy as an Oni warrior, able to absorb the souls of enemies to strengthen his weapons and abilities.
My name is Oyu. I'm from Odani.
I dream of becoming a feudal lord. Wouldn't it be great to live in a time of peace?
You see? I will never be defeated.
My name is Gogandantis, the greatest swordsman of all demons. Anga!
Just a little human!
So, the cockroach is still alive!
I'll show you what nasty means.
It is the Yagyu clan's mission to stop the demons when they rise up to the surface.
If this is my destiny, I'll accept it. I'll be this Oni warrior, and I will destroy the demons. You will pay for this.
Fantasy Life-I: The Girl Who Steals Time is a life simulation RPG developed and published by Level 5, with collaboration from Level 5 Concept. It is a sequel to the acclaimed Fantasy Life released for Nintendo 3DS in 2014, bringing a unique blend of life simulation elements with action RPG mechanics. The story begins with the player, an adventurer, setting out on an expedition with the archaeologist Edward and his team. Following the light emitted by a dragon fossil, you discover a deserted and unexplored island on the continent of Onimusha. In Fantasy Life-I, the lives represent the professions that players can choose. Each life has unique characteristics and offers different ways to enjoy the game. Players can collect ingredients and materials with gathering lives, create weapons or cook dishes with crafting lives, or fight monsters with combat lives. The ability to switch between lives at any time allows players to create a unique playstyle. So that was the video. If you can and want to contribute with any amount, I will be extremely grateful. Every super thanks makes a huge difference and motivates me a lot. Besides that, you will be mentioned in the next video. I'll be leaving here, and until next time.
Oh no, I don't think so. No, 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 I don't think so. No, 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 it's never, ever, 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 ever gonna happen. I don't think so. No, 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 I don't think so. No, 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 it's never, ever, 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 ever gonna happen. I don't think so. No, 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 no. Maybe someday you'll have it your way. Maybe someday it'll all work out. Until then, nope, a nope, a nope, a nope, definitely nope, a nope, nope, a nope, Probably never, ever, 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 ever,